everyone, welcome back to She Tried It. Today's video is quite a bit different thanks to our friends over at Bellish who are sponsoring today's video. Bellish reached out to me a few months ago and asked if I wanted to check out their free knitting app. A lot of you helped with the process of this sweater, but for those of you that missed out, here's the video to catch you up. It's Karita from She Tried It here, and I need your help. The people over at Bellish reached out to me and asked me to try out their free custom knitting pattern app. This thing is seriously amazing. They have tons of options, but I decided I'm gonna make a raglan sweater so I can try it on as I go. I also know I want it to be cropped because I am extremely short. Here's one of the things I need your help on, the neckline. Let me know which one you think I should do. I know I'm going to add short sleeves because I'm down here in super hot Texas. I'm also not gonna add any embellishments because I want to stick with the simple look. I'm so anxious to get this top done, so I'm going to use worsted weight yarn. The last step before it generates the pattern gives yarn suggestions, and I think I want to try out this cool yarn called Wool of the Andes because look at all these color options. Now I need your help again. Which color do I choose? And do I choose just one? Should I add color blocking or should I just make it one color? Once I get your input, I'll get started on the sweater. Thanks so much in advance, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to see how this turns out. So as you can see, this app is amazing. Thanks to y'all, I was able to put the finishing touches on my design. Based on your responses, I went with a V-neck and I chose the color purple. I've said before that I'm a fairly slow knitter. If you haven't noticed, I've already knit quite a few things this year, more than my average knitting amount for sure. But I would be a complete fool to pass up this opportunity to work with Bellish. Bellish is a free app for anyone to design their perfect knitting project. There are over 300,000 unique patterns that have been created since they launched last year. They are currently only available on iOS, but have plans to come out with an Android version later this year. Let's talk about some of the pros of this sweater. Because the design is completely customized to me, this pattern was a breeze to read. With a typical pattern, you have tons of numbers all over the place, and you have to make sure you're keeping up with the right stitch count for your size. That wasn't the case for this app. Because I chose the size large, I was given the exact stitch count for my size. Another pro is that this app has row counters. There are so many tools in this app to keep you on track with the pattern, but the pattern is extremely helpful. For anyone who has ever completed a knit sweater, you know that parts of the process can be a bit repetitive, and having something like a row counter can be so helpful. Another helpful feature in this app is the notes. This is perfect for any beginner. For a lot of regular patterns, you're just told to do one thing and then do the next, but you don't really know why you're doing it. This app is very clear in giving explanations for why you're doing what you're doing. For example, when I was instructed to slip Stixie stitches onto waste yarn, I was also informed these were the stitches for the sleeve and that we would come back to it later after completing the body. The notes throughout the pattern make this the perfect app if you've never knit a sweater before. Also, the app highlights what row you're on. As I moved along in the pattern, the highlighted row helped me keep up with where I left off. This was perfect because I forget everything. This also brings me to the only con I had for the app. I was working on the sweater at home, at coffee shops, at work, on my lunch break, everywhere. Most of the time, I was looking at the pattern from my iPad, but other times I was looking at the app from my phone. I noticed that the highlighted row only seemed to keep up with one device. So as I switched from iPhone to iPad, I just had to do a quick check to make sure I was looking at the right spot of the pattern. I spoke with the founder of Bellish and told her about this issue. The reason this happens is because the Bellish app currently doesn't have accounts set up, and therefore the patterns are stored locally. Again, this is not a big deal at all, but just something to be on the lookout for if you decide to use multiple devices like I did. Because I brought this up as an issue, they bumped it up in the priority order and it will be resolved soon. One final thing I couldn't help but notice is that I flew through this make. I don't know if it was the worsted weight yarn, the helpful tools in the app, or all of the above, but this sweater only took me 2 weeks to complete, and this is coming from a pretty slow knitter. Seriously, this app is amazing. The yarn I used in this pattern was new to me, but came from a very familiar place, We Crochet or Knit Picks. I used Wool of the Andes worsted in the color Starling Heather. Like I said, y'all helped me decide to choose the color purple, but this line literally has 15 purples to choose from. I thought Starling Heather would work best with my skin tone, and it was a bit out of my comfort zone. Starling Heather is a subdued ashy plum jewel tone with smoky purple lowlights and highlights of blue and violet. This yarn is 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and it comes with 110 yards for every 50 grams gained. The care instructions suggest washing and drying flat. This yarn was an absolute pleasure to work with. It's evident this is a very high quality wool. It glided on and off my needles so effortlessly. If you're searching for a worsted weight yarn for your next project, I highly suggest this one, and I'll leave it linked below in the description box. Going back to how awesome the app was, you're also informed of how much yarn you'll need to complete the sweater in your size. And just to be on the safe side, I ordered one extra skein. I found this feature to be extremely accurate. Plus, I created a gauge swatch to make sure I was on track with the amount of yarn suggested. Now that we know that the app is amazing and the yarn is amazing, are y'all ready to see my sweater? So yeah, the sweater turned out to be just as amazing as the app. I hope y'all give this app a try, and if you do, come back to this video and leave a comment letting me know how you liked it. I personally made a sweater, but you can also make beanies, cardigans, or socks for adults, toddlers, or children. They're also gonna add some crochet features in the future, so maybe one day I can work with them again when that launches. I know that a ton of people have been itching for the Android version to come out, but until that happens, Bellish is going to post the pattern I made onto their website, and I will post that onto Ravelry. If you wanna make my same sweater, I'll be sure to link that in the description box below when it's available. Thanks again to Bellish for sponsoring this video. Oh, and don't forget to suggest some names for the sweater. Since y'all helped me design it, it's only right for y'all to help me name it. I'm completely open to suggestions. See you in my next video. Bye!